Hey guys, William Murfitt here, and in today's episode we're going to tackle the rear subframe. Okay, so as you can see, Rusty is now turned around. The front end is pretty much done. I've got to sort out the brakes, adjust up the hub nuts and fit some different wheels, but I'm pretty much done on the front end suspension wise. I've got to fit some oil to the car and just adjust the wiring, but there's a job I've stumbled across, let's say, and it needs to have the attention paid ASAP. I was looking underneath the bottom of the car when I was fitting up the exhaust, and I was looking at the subframe and I kind of poked about a little bit and just started crumbling in places. So I've ordered a new subframe because I thought, well, while it's all off, or while it's off the road, I might as well do a job properly. And then the suspension all underneath is going to be brand new. I didn't particularly want to do this because it's going to be a hell of a job to do, but needs must, and I need to get this car back on the road ready for IMM. So yeah, let's just get on with it, shall we? I've never attempted this job before, so please bear with me. It may take a little while. Ideally, I'm hoping that all the bolts undo, but given it's a 40-year-old car, I'm expecting at least one or two to snap. I've got some heat. I've drilled some holes in the rear bins. I just need to make it a little bit bigger, just spray some WD-40 on the back of the bolt where the head is. And when I did the seals, I'm pretty sure I welded around the nuts to make sure they were extra strong. So hopefully the nuts I'm going to twist. If the nuts twist, I can drill that hole out in the inside, put a spanner down. All else fails, I can always cut this part of the seal off and then replace that section of the seal. I don't particularly want to do that, but that is the risk I'm willing to take to get this car roadworthy once again. Let's do this. Okay, so let's take a look at the reasons why I'm changing the subframe. I'm sure there'll be some comments down below to say, yep, good job. I'm sure there'll be other people saying they would have just welded that. But let's take a look. Ooh. Ooh. Right. So the subframe itself is a little bit corroded, and then the rust I found actually back here. So I won't be able to see it. Where my hand is here, I kind of pulled away a number of layers of the metal. It's pretty corroded all the way along, and yeah, I think I'm doing a good job replacing this. It probably is repairable, but for the sake of time and effort I've got, or the limited time I've got, I'm going to be replacing it. The parts are all here, so let's start this process off. I've taken it into my own hands to order everything up before I've even started, just as a precaution. So, first of all, we've got the subframe. I've not opened it yet. I went for a patterned panel from Minis R Us in Twyford, which is in Winchester. I have actually used these previously for various builds, and I found them on eBay. It was £219 for the rear subframe. So I guess let's open it up and check it out. Right, so here is the pattern subframe. It's not painted, so I will need to paint that up. I could give it powder coated, but that would involve having to do a lot of prep work to get it done, because I'd have to put plugs in all the holes, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same as I did for the front subframe and paint it with Hammerite. I might even, to try and save some time, paint the top. Or is this the top? I don't know. Whatever's the top, I need to try and look at it. Paint the top, paint the insides, paint the outsides, fit it, and then once it's in place, paint the underneath before putting the exhaust and everything up. But that's the first part of the jigsaw puzzle. The second step is a pack here for Richmond Classics, and that is a rear subframe fitting kit. So that's the bushes for the trunnions for the back and the ones for the front as well. The bolts that mount it to the boot floor, the bolts that mount it to the hill board. No, maybe it didn't. There were some they sold that came with all the brake pipes, which I don't think I used because the brake pipes in this aren't that old. So that's that, and it's also got the bolts to hold the radius arms on with. Talking of radius arms, I've got a repair kit for them. So that's new shafts, bearings, bushes. I have some new flexi hoses for the brick. I've got some new knuckle joints for the back, and I've got a pair of rubber suspension cones. Also in my spares, which I found I never had, I've got a pair of handbrake quadrants as well. So they'll go on the bottom and they'll pivot with a handbrake. So that's all the parts I've got. The car's up on the stands. Well, it's up on the ramps. I need to put it onto some stands supporting the body. I need to get the fuel tank out. I need to take the wheels off, the rear suspension off, and try and work out what to do about the subframe. So I'm hoping I get a bit of heat on the nuts, which are mounted here and here, onto the outer trunnion, and get it nice and hot, and then undo it. I've got a feeling they're the ones that are going to snap, but until we get there, we won't know. So I'm going to leave it here for this episode, and I'm probably going to film this over the next few days. But this is what's going to be coming up, doing the rear subframe. Once the rear subframe's done and the wheels are all back on, it's back on the ground, the car's going to go back out the garage, turn back around, come back in backwards. I'm going to finish the brakes on the front because only one caliper's fitted at the moment. The other one is still needs to be painted up. I need to tighten down the hub nuts for the front wheels. I need to sort the wiring out in the engine bay, and then work my attention onto the inside of the car, and I've got a patch of welding to on the outside. I've got around 5 weeks now to get this car finished, and to say I'm a little bit nervous is a bit of an understatement. I am bricking it. I'm hoping I get this done, but I just don't know. So the less time I talk and the more time I do the work, the better I'll have a chance of doing it. So thank you guys for watching. This is what's coming up, and if you have enjoyed this video, as always, please hit the thumbs up button, comment down below, and if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out any future content. That is it for me, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.